Dr. Tanmoy Biswas, welcome you all in my channel Chemistry the Mystery of Molecule. Today we shall learn about methanol preparation. This is important because nowadays it is considered as a green fuel for future. Not only that, it's in laboratory, it is widely used as solvent or reagent. So that's why it's very important. So before going to details, I want to give you one question. Between methanol and ethanol, which one is more harmful and why? Please write your answer briefly in the comment box. I want to see, and definitely at the end I shall provide the right answer. So let's go into the details. Introduction. If you see, this methanol is represented as CH3OH or MEOH. So what it does, so this is actually a one carbon hydrocarbon, smallest hydrocarbon, you can say it's a C1 carbon 1 source, and boiling point is 64.7. but remember, it is not that much volatile because this methanol CH3OH can form hydrogen bonding, means this CH3OH, this hydrogen is delta positive and it can form hydrogen bonding with other oxygen of the methanol molecule. Means this, because of this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, this compound's boiling point is 64.7, although its mass is significantly less. Okay, it is a colorless liquid, and that's a major problem to distinguish between ethanol and methanol. I shall explain why. Saturated alcohol, see in this case you can see completely saturated, no double bond or it's not cyclic compound, and this carbon atom is sp3 hybridized. Even the oxygen is also sp3 hybridized. Please don't get confused, sometimes we neglect this. And this is used as an useful chemical source, solvent for fuel, solvent and fuel. What means the chemical source? For example, if you treat this methanol with HI, what you can expect? HI is a very strong acid, so it will first protonate and the OH group from OH2 plus, and along with that there is an iodide minus. And these iodide, you can expect that it will attack here via SN2 fashion, and it will produce methyl iodide, which is a very good reagent. And this is very important because it is a very good reagent for SN2 type reaction. This iodide is a good leaving group, and this carbon is a less bulky, so SN best partner. Now, by the way, why I didn't say methyl chloride or methyl bromide? Because methyl chloride is gas and methyl bromide is very low boiling liquid, difficult to handle, but this methyl iodide is significant, near about 40 to 50, you can handle it efficiently. Second thing, because we need a reagent which is safer. If it's a gas, it is very risky to handle, not only in laboratory but also in industry. So that's why this methyl chloride, you have seen in many cases that this is written not chloride or iodide, bromide. Now, so how methanol is prepared? From actually the old preparation of methanol is from wood. That's why this is also termed as wood spirit. Okay, you will see many places that this is called wood spirit, so destruction of wood, that's why it is called wood spirit. It's the smallest alcohol. Now, how methanol could be prepared from nowadays? That's the important thing, because since we are saying it's a potential fuel, or you may say fuel for future, so we need to prepare it in large scale and cheaper method. So syngas is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So if you react carbon monoxide hydrogen above zinc oxide alumina catalyst at 50 to 800 at atmosphere pressure and 250 centigrade, it produces methanol. An interesting point is that these both are gas, although this methanol is liquid. Okay, now question, why such drastic condition needed? If you look at little closely, that this hydrogen and carbon monoxide both are not that much reactive for easy reaction, chemical transformation, it's not. Second thing, that see, both are gas, and from the gaseous material you are producing a liquid, so you can expect if you increase the pressure, the equilibrium will prefer to shift towards the product side, which is liquid, and in this way it will neutralize the effect of outside, that is the increase in pressure, and this is nothing but Lassatelier principle. So this is the industrial method for this alcohol methanol preparation. Now, since we are talking about the preparation, then we need to know synthons, because we are talking about large scale industrial preparation. So if we don't know the source of synthons, then it's useless. We need to think more and we need to think completely. So source of synthons, if you look, this carbon monoxide, which is produced from coke or elemental carbon. Actually, by the way, whatever coal we get in our mines, that contain moisture and some other thing also. So first we need to heat that solid black material to convert this into coke. Okay, and then it reacted with carbon dioxide under high temperature, and see in this case what it producing, this carbon monoxide, if you say the oxidation state of this carbon is +4 and this carbon monoxide it is +2. So since there is no oxygen, coal can't burn, it react with carbon monoxide and produce this carbon dioxide and produce this intermediate oxidation state, that is carbon monoxide, and this is utilized there. But in the case but interestingly, the case of the mixture could directly prepare from hydrocarbon, and that is student methane. It's a very promising thing, and I have discussed the source of methane from methane clathrates. You may visit. It's very interesting. And methane react with water and produces carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Look at the reaction, how in good balance this is. 2 hydrogen from methane and 1 hydrogen molecule from water, and this oxygen goes to carbon monoxide. So this mixture, and if you react this, instantly it will produce the methanol, CH3OH. Okay, so it ultimately, now question is it the process based on fossil fuel? Now this question answer is the source of methane. What is the source of methane? Because methane has many sources. So if you look at natural gas contain mainly methane. Okay, natural gas contain mainly methane. So if you do from that, obviously it's a fossil fuel. If you prepare it from biogas, this methane molecule, then it's not a fossil fuel based. Okay, now that nowadays there is another interesting methane source, that is methane clathrates, and student, you will be surprised that the overall estimate of methane clathrate storage is more than the proven reserve of fossil fuel. So how much is stored, just imagine. And due to global warming and climate change, these methane clathrates are coming out from the seabed and mixing in the atmosphere, and the biggest problem is they are more powerful greenhouse gas compared to carbon monoxide. So first of all, we need to trap that gas and we need to burn or utilize, and after that as a carbon dioxide you should release, otherwise it will result a catastrophic effect because in the form of climate calamities. So consequently we are forced to capture that gas. We need technological improvements such that we can capture that gas, and if we can do this, that could be the best source for methane, and that could be converted into ethanol, and which we can use as a fuel. That's the best thing. Okay, so please visit that methane clathrate video. Now, so can we make this process carbon neutral? Because nowadays it is the in top trending thing, because recently the COP26 meeting happened in Glasgow, UK, and I have already discussed a dedicated lecture about the conclusion. So in that meeting, countries have declared to reduce their CO2 emission limit. Consequently, they promise that they will try to shift towards renewable. So that's why since this reaction is so much important, so we should think about, is there any way to get this carbon monoxide in a green way? So synthon should be green, and energy or electricity required for this process comes from renewable source. I shall come. So first of all, this carbon dioxide reduced in presence of light or electricity means photochemical CO2 reduction. I shall discuss it in future, photochemical, or it could be electrochemical. So both possible. So photochemical means you can consider this light mediated H nu, and electrochemical means this electron mediated reduction using a semiconductor catalyst. If we do, we will get this carbon monoxide molecule instantly, and since it's a gas, it will come out from the reaction mixture. You can separate easily. And see, half is carbon monoxide, another half is hydrogen. How could you get? We can get from water splitting. So electrochemical or photochemical, whatever you do, in this way you get the hydrogen. But in this context, the biggest problem of this water splitting to get hydrogen is over potential, means extra energy needed to produce this hydrogen from compared to its thermodynamic requirement. So means the kinetic is the main issue, and overall worldwide scientists are trying to resolve this. So very soon we believe we have efficient way to produce this hydrogen and carbon monoxide using electricity. That's, I believe, based on my understanding, best point, because every country in the world, including tropical, subtropical or polar, everyone can follow this. But the biggest important issue is where these come from renewable sources, means this electricity required for this process should come from renewable sources, and nowadays the majority of world uses fossil fuel for its energy production, and even more than 35% electricity worldwide coming from coal. If we can't shift that, then such kind of process is irrelevant. So first we need to change our power source from fossil fuel to renewable, then only such kind of processes are useful. I have already discussed in a dedicated video that why the world is allergic to coal fire power plant, so you may visit to understand the story better way. Now another technology, and I believe this is actually, based on my understanding, this is the best technology, but till now it is not that much developed. Best technology is this reaction of methane in presence of controlled oxygen. So there is nothing called 0.5 oxygen. You may consider this is as a controlled condition. Okay, controlled condition. If you react this oxygen and methane, it will be methanol. What is actually happening in this case? This CH bond, in this CH bond, one oxygen molecule and inserted and getting COH, and rest this CH3 you can see that's intact. So this is the you can say such a very simple reaction, but student, it is very difficult reaction. All world is trying. And this is the best choice for fuel preparation, as there are lots of methane sources available, as I told, as methane clathrates or biogas. The major problem associated with the lesser selectivity, because since this burning could not control efficiently, and ultimately this burning result in carbon dioxide. So that's the issue. Even in presence of limited oxygen, methane burns carbon dioxide and water. Scientific development needed to improve selectivity, because, and for that purpose, what is the best? You may consider catalyst. Catalyst can play a biggest role, and that's why it is called the country which is developed or more efficient in the field of catalysis. Their GDP growth means become a very good. So that's why we need to invest a huge amount in our science and technology center field, such that we can develop something better. For example, this catalyst. Now, so this is the overall thing. So if we can achieve this, our future will be better, and that time we can prepare this methanol in a large scale with a less cost, cheaper way. And why this is important, you can see this car, these are actually methanol fire car, methanol as a fuel used in this car. So that's the best thing. So world is going fast. We need to work accordingly. And another thing, we need to accept that we can't rely on coal or fossil fuel for our electricity generation. We need to shift renewables and nuclear. Now let's come to our question, between methanol and ethanol, which one is more harmful and why? Actually, student, both are harmful, but question, who is more and who is less? Obviously methanol is more harmful. Why? Because in our body it gets oxidized and produces formic acid and formaldehyde. So formic acid and formaldehyde, and that's the toxic thing. You see, the formaldehyde means a formalin, for this used to preserve the tissue, means it saves the tissue to get damaged by something. So that's why you can see how much toxic it is, such that it can prevent the bacterial degradation of any tissue. So that thing happens, and sometimes you see that some people got drunk and died, drunken death. This thing, why? Because that generally what we drink ethanol, because we consider ethanol to be safer, because ethanol produces acetaldehyde and ultimately it produces acetic acid. So this is the acetic acid. It's not that much toxic, but if some amount of methanol is mixed within the ethanol, so that could be destructive, and sometimes it could be lethal, and that's why some people died. So it is always advisable, please stop or reduce drinking. And another thing, if you drink, then don't drink from cheap sources, because they don't take proper precaution such that their ethanol is free from methanol. So this is the end of the discussion. I believe this video may be useful. So please remember, fossil fuel is essential for our society, but more specifically green fuel. Otherwise we cannot maintain our climate change, we cannot restrict, and consequently our food security could be challenged. And by the way, I have discussed a dedicated lecture about kelp cultivation or seaweed cultivation, which could be a future for our food security, so you may visit. So this is the end of the discussion. Thank you for watching, and stay dedicated.